Alright, today we're going to be turning these syringe cases into some industrial smokestacks. Now, I got these from a veterinary clinic that I know of. These are normally used to store syringes inside to keep them sterile, but once they're open, these are typically discarded, but I was able to get them to use for this terrain project. These syringe cases are tall and by extension rather top heavy and not stable. So we're going to put a washer in the bottom of each of these to add some weight. Washer in, a little bit of white glue, and then this white glue is going to have the benefit of both holding the washer down as well as sealing the tube in place. Now that the glue has dried and the washer is solid to the base, we're going to start with priming it. In this case, I'm taking a black gesso primer and just using a brush to brush it on. With the gesso primer dry, I'm going to paint this thing silver, remembering to leave a small circle at the top, and that's going to be the vent where all the smoke comes out. I'm just using a cheap silver paint and 2 coats of it to give this thing a nice metallic look. Now that our silver is all done, I'm going to add a little bit of Garrigax sewer contrast just to make a bit of grime around our smokestack. Pinching off a bit of foam, I'm going to start around and make sure there's a little bit more up by where our fumes are going to precipitate, and then spread it around. That way it looks like there's some grime all across. These are great as standalone pieces, but let's see if we can tie them together. To help tie everything together, we're going to make bases for these. So this is just 2 pieces of foam core that have been glued together. Top one has 2 holes cut into it, the size big enough to fit the 2 smokestacks, one of each size. We're just going to take some white primer just to tie everything together, and gives us a good surface for all our future paints to go on. I've primed it white and drawn some lines on to roughly mark out where we're going to do some hazard stripes. I'm just going to start with some black paint and mark the areas I want to be painted in black, so we can start that section. Now that the black's all dry, we're going to add the yellow part of these hazard stripes. And don't worry if things overlap or if the black and yellow spread out. We can always touch that up in later portions. Now that we've got the main colors of the hazard stripes, it's looking nice, but it's looking a little too clean. So I'm going to go over it with some Agrax Earthshade just to give it a little more dirt, grimy feel. It also helped clean up some of our mistakes with the painting. Now that we've got the Agrax Earthshade, it's kind of grimy, it looks nice, and it's covered up a lot of the issues that we've had. We're going to go one step further and do a bit of damaging with, in this case, it's going to be a silver Sharpie, but you can do this with silver paint. And we're just going to rub along the edges and kind of give it a bit of a damaged, worn look, like it's exposed metal. And this is what it looks like now. We've had some battle damage, so a little bit of chipping, some scratch marks, all with this silver marker. Again, you can use like a dry brush or silver paint, but this marker does a nice quick job. Now that we've got it all done, we have our base and our smokestacks that can be fit in to give it a nice, more unified feel. Let me know what you think about these. These are meant to be quick pieces of terrain that gave a different feel to a battlefield, as well as offering a little bit of cover. Thanks for watching.